Per 9000's game room.
Now, I'm sure most people nowadays would know about advertisement games. Heck, a few years ago we got the quite brilliant for a freebie Doritos Crash Course on the Xbox 360 on the Live Arcade service, which if you have an Xbox 360 and you haven't played, I strongly recommend you download it and have a bash at that now. But back in the Mega Drive and SNES days though, and before, sometimes whole £40 games would be released which were basically an advertisement in video game form. The game I'm going to talk about today is kind of one of those games. Some of you might have played it, but you might have never realised that it started its life as an advert in game form. I'm talking about Pushover. Pushover is a platform puzzle game which was developed by Red Rat Software and published by Ocean Software in 1992 for the Amiga, the Atari ST and DOS. The game was sponsored by Quavers, yes, the cheesy crisp snack which most of us have probably tried. The game's story was that Quavers mascot Colin Curley, who I think is long since dead and gone, I've not seen old Colin in a long time on the packets. Well, he's lost his Quavers packets down a giant ant hill, and he needed the help of an ant controlled by the player to retrieve the packet. Now, the SNES version lacks the Quavers branding, and instead the aim is to recover bundles of cash dropped down the ant hill by someone called Captain Rat. I've tried to read and look into if there's a reason behind why the SNES version doesn't have the Quavers branding, but I can't really seem to find one. Advert games seemed quite common back then. There was a series of 16-bit games based on Chester Cheetah, there was the McDonald's game Mick and Mac Global Gladiators, then there were the games less based on a snack but seemed to be at least sponsored by something, for example Robocod heavily featured Penguin chocolate bars, and Zool was sponsored by Chupa Chups. I haven't played the SNES version of Robocod in a long time, so I'm not sure if that has penguin bars in it. There was a McDonald's game on the NES, so I can't see Nintendo themselves having had an issue with adverts being in games. This game came at a time when things like Lemmings, Humans and the Lost Vikings were all popping up on various formats, so there seemed to be a decent little market for this kind of thing, and while it was nice to have something that was a puzzle game that wasn't Tetris. I don't tend to talk to many people who've played this game though, and if you pick it up and try it now, then you might be shocked by a few things. Graphically, this is one of the simplest looking games you will find on the SNES. I think the NES or Master System could probably handle the graphics of this game. It really does not make much use of the SNES at all. Don't expect any Mode 7 or, well, any graphical tricks or niceties at all. Would they improve the game? Probably not. Would they have added a little bit to the presentation? Certainly yes. You will always feel like you're playing on a very basic home computer game. The main character is an ant which has only a handful of frames of animation as he walks around and pushes and lifts dominoes on the one-screen levels. The backgrounds are incredibly simple. Yes, it was an early game on the SNES and is also a puzzle game, with the focus being on the solution of puzzles, but it still just feels so super basic. The music is also very basic and can get on your nerves when you've been listening to it again and again, when you get stuck on a particular level, and believe me, you will get stuck in this game. So basically the player is presented with a number of different dominoes in all of the levels. Among those are the standard dominoes which roll once then fall over, tumbler dominoes which will continue rolling until they make contact with another domino, exploder dominoes and bridge dominoes, etc. The main goal in all the levels is to pick the dominoes up, place them in a position where the domino will hit the others and result in all of them being knocked over with one push. You also have to make sure that you hit the finishing domino last. The levels are always based on one screen. There's no scrolling in any direction whatsoever. What you see is what you get. The basic graphics hide what at times can be a fiendishly complex set of puzzles. As the game goes on, the variety of dominoes you have to deal with increases, as does the difficulty and the frustration. If hard puzzles make you scream and tear at your own hair, this will not really be one for you. If you're happy to spend a good 20 minutes messing around, pondering and thinking about solutions, if you feel great excitement from working out a plan and putting it into place and seeing it come to fruition, then you'll get a lot from this game. One of the problems with retro games is that when you come back to them later, or when you find the game later in your life, there are far more impressive things out there already. I find it hard to recommend this game because I think much better things have come out more recently. If pushed to give Pushover a rating, I would be inclined to give it the very average 5 out of 10. I wouldn't worry about trying to buy this game for your SNES. If you try to play this on a TV over 14 inches, it's going to look absolutely shocking. If you have a Game Boy Advance or a Dreamcast, just get Choo Choo Rocket. It's similar in the way that you're trying to work out puzzles which require a bit of thought, but it has much better graphics, music and presentation. If you have one, in fact, I would recommend the Android version of Choo Choo Rocket, as it's a great little game. That's Kerr9000 signing off, saying keep on gaming.